India is among the world's largest pharma manufacturers and exporters by volume. And as a prelude to the industry-leading Pharma Pro Pack Expo and Analytica Anacon India Lab Expo, scheduled to take place September 14th through 16th in Hyderabad, we thought we'd take the opportunity to speak to movers and shakers from across the pharma manufacturing value chain to understand India's inroads in the areas of innovation, skill development, and ultimately the journey that lies ahead towards becoming a self-reliant pharma manufacturing epicenter. Please allow me to introduce our guests. We have with us the CEO of Messe Muenchen, India, and the organizer of Pharma Pro Pack Expo, Analytica Anacon India Lab Expo, Bhupinder Singh. Secretary General of the Indian Pharmaceutical Alliance, Sudarshan Jain. Promoter and Managing Director of Encube Ethicals and Honorable Secretary of the Indian Drug Manufacturers Association, Mehul Shah. President Global Manufacturing Operations at Granules India, Anil Arora. Vice President of Indian Pharma Machinery Manufacturers Association, Shehul Sheth. So Bhupinder, I'd love to kick off the conversation with you, and I'm perhaps stating the obvious here, but India is the world's leading and the world's largest manufacturer of generic drugs. And that's something that became evidently clear during the pandemic. But how can trade fair platforms, such as the one in discussion today, help further accelerate the Indian pharma industry's success story on a global scale?
If you look at pharma industries for last 2-3 years, we all saw India's medical diplomacy, where we exported life-saving drugs to over 150 countries.
Absolutely.
If you look at the pharma industry state now, we have an exponential growth in the production capacities across pharma industry. And that's happening because of various reasons. We are talking about PLIs, we are talking about the domestic increased consumption, we are talking about an aging global population, all those factors.
Of course.
Now, in order to stay on track with this growth and to usher the next wave of growth, the industry needs to stay abreast with the fast changing trends, technologies, towards the analytical side, towards the production process, packaging side. Industry needs strong tie-ups with global leaders. Now, that's exactly where our trade fairs come into the picture.
Sure.
So, with Analytica, for example, which is a trade fair around analytical and lab technologies, it's a global brand which is present across several countries in Europe, Africa, Asia. We are talking about Pharma Pro Pack, which is a leading trade fair which we do along with IPMMA, our partner association. This is the fastest growing exhibition in the country on this segment. And I think the association there has done a phenomenal job by bringing the whole key stakeholders from the domestic as well as regional industries together. Now, over a period of 3 days during the trade shows, what we do is we bring the academia, we bring the government, we bring the industry, both from demand and supply side.
Right.
And we trigger the conversations which are the most essential conversations for the industry, most pressing issues for the industry to move forward. And I think that's where a trade fair plays a role. So in essence, what we do is we facilitate those partnerships by enabling meaningful handshakes, by unlocking business opportunities. I think that's what we do.
Well, absolutely. And let me build on some of your observations and throw my next question at you, Sudarshan, because you've spoken extensively about the role of artificial intelligence and about the role of automation in the context of drug development and manufacturing. And I'd love your take on some of the emerging technologies in the pharma sector that you believe have the power to influence safety, sustainability, and productivity at large.
India is the manufacturing powerhouse of the world. 20% of the world manufacturing is contributed from India. Every third tablet in US is sold from India.
Right.
Every fourth tablet in Europe is sold from India. So kind of manufacturing capability which India has built up, indeed we are proud of. India is not only asset Indian industry to India but to the world.
Absolutely.
I will build on some of the future agendas.
Please.
Lab automation and continuous manufacturing are going to be very important going forward. In fact, a lot of work which has been done in lab automation, right from screen output, data management system, improved SOPs, and induction of robotic technology as far as the manufacturing operations are concerned. If we see lab automation, today we are talking of standardizing the processes, improving the quality management system, which has played an important role during this time. The Internet of Things, which is being talked about, where we are trying to standardize the processes and improving the overall quality systems in the country. We can be proud of the fact that 2 of our plants, which are by Cipla and Dr. Reddy's, have been declared as digital lighthouse plant in World Economic Forum. They are 19 plants in pharma manufacturing around the world, and 119 were classified. Out of that, 2 are from India, which is a moment of great pride.
Absolutely.
The great thing is, during COVID times, there has been a tremendous adoption of technology. What we could do in first 3 months of COVID, perhaps that would have taken next 5 years to adopt that technology. But there has been a tremendous adoption of technology, which helped us to supply medicines to over 150 countries around the world. And indeed, we are very proud. Different companies are at different stage of digital maturity. However, the process has begun, and India will lead the world in that direction. And I would also like to congratulate Pro Pack and other advocates, because these are the areas which provide time for sharing the best practices, taking the adoption process faster, and it is a great moment for India.
Well, sir, all of this is very heartening to hear. And I want to come to you now, Mehul. You know, building on what Sudarshan alluded to just a moment ago, I believe that between PLI schemes and between focused manufacturing cluster programs, the Make in India movement has very high hopes of the pharma industry. So can you tell us how we can better incentivize global pharma giants to build a presence in India, set up shop in India, and likewise tell us about the emerging trend of Indian drug manufacturers now building a presence abroad by way of dedicated manufacturing facilities in global markets?
A very interesting question. You see, the Indian pharma industry is very vibrant, and there is ample opportunity for every company, size, scale, and based on their specialities, so that they can be part of this great growth journey.
Sure.
1986, when the Indian pharma was only closer to $1 billion, we are talking about today $50 billion industry. And by 2030, likely to touch $130 billion. And Vision 2047 of the government is to touch almost $500 billion.
Right.
So you can see the size and scale of the opportunity. What you can see all these exhibitions and all the incentives is basically to inspire a lot of entrepreneurs to move towards this growth journey. Indian pharma industry, almost 10,000 plus manufacturing units. All of them are mostly run by entrepreneurs.
Right.
And these entrepreneurs, for the government is trying to build their capabilities through PLI schemes, RLI schemes, then the SPI schemes. That is, they want this sector to really improve in all respect. So this scenario of expansion for the local companies, how they are looking at, they are dividing the entire world into 4 segments.
Sure.
One is India, where there is immense growth, the consumption is growing up with distribution and other thing. There is a lot of sectoral reforms happening, lot of incentives are given, state-wise incentives also and the center-wise incentives also.
Right.
And the knowledgeable population or the labor force available is one of the best in the world now. Digital mindset, India is now far ahead than for the adoption of the technology.
Sure.
So all put together, this conducive environment is leading to, first is definitely make in India, increase the footprint in India. Now coming to the global companies, the timing is very essential. The global company who wants to increase the footprint in India, not many multinationals are doing greenfield project because of the time constraint and their regulatory timeline for getting the plant approved. So what we see a trend is lots of mergers and acquisition and further expansion of facilities and the market. So they are in India, they are investing in India specific R&D, India specific products, more of acquiring a brand. So imagine that the Indian companies going global with manufacturing as a core strength, local and global, and the international companies more of mergers and acquisitions. So based on which India becomes a very attractive destination for the international companies to increase their footprint in India, leverage this strength for their respective market, do the cost reduction and expand their portfolio.
Well, you've touched upon cost, and I want to build on that coming to you now, Anil, because I believe all the panelists' comments have made clear that India has very much emerged as the most cost competitive market when it comes to pharmaceutical products. But the flip side of that is, of course, innovation and ensuring that cost doesn't come at the cost of innovation, if you will. So that said, what more can be done to accelerate that innovation pipeline per se?
First, I would like to start by saying, all of us know India is the third largest pharmacy of the world, right? And that has been proven, the capabilities have been proven in the recent past when during the COVID period, when the entire world needed vaccines. And we were the first to serve not only the internal requirement of India, but also go to the world and supply vaccines to all of them.
Yes, very much.
That was very well appreciated also. Now companies have to change their business models. We need to re-innovate, we need to redefine our product portfolios and adopt a patient-centric approach, which is very important for all the pharmaceutical industries. And that's the focus area going forward. And it's also important that product development matches with the innovator targeted profiles. That's the key for the speed part of it, because normally what we do is when we copy any innovator products, it takes us months and years to match the profile and then go to the market.
Right.
We need to really work upon this as a big area for success. That's one. And also we need to, when we move in this journey, we need to adopt different models. So mathematical models which can work upon the first principles of human physiology. That's something which we must adopt as a pharmaceutical company. That will help us really relook into the way we do and copy the innovator models, and we can expedite by adopting these models, mathematical models, and go speeder to the market part of it. Secondly, the digital tools. Now we can make use of the digital tools on the R&D side also. That will help us, not only digital tools, but artificial intelligence and also the machine learning models, which can be implemented for the development part of the technology.
Sure.
And that's one part of it. And if we, if the companies do not have in-house capabilities to really look at development part, there are CROs who are offering the services to tie up with them and take it forward from them. So they do the right work of development and help industries go forward. This will help us save on time and move faster and give products at a cost-effective rates.
Well, thank you so much, Anil, and you've certainly portrayed a very interesting picture around the future of the Indian pharmaceutical industry, and I want to build on that coming to you now, Shehul, because for India to become a fully Atmanirbhar, right, pharma manufacturing epicenter, I believe that machinery manufacturers will have a critical role to play. So would love your take on how you believe our current innovation in that context compares to those of global counterparts.
The Indian pharma machinery manufacturers are heavily investing today in research and development, and they are focusing on breakthrough technologies which will ensure that the pharma industry in India is second to none. They are also collaborating with a lot of universities as well as international counterparts to bring the pool of knowledge what they have and ensure that the machine manufacturers in India and the technology associated with that is second to none. This is absolutely important because we are looking forward to innovate pharma medicines as well as ensuring that they are being produced economically in a very good way. We are also looking to adhere to global standards so that the industries is second to none, and the pharma machinery is geared up surely in a big way.
I want to come to you now, Sudarshan, because based on the long and illustrious career that you've had, in the global pharma world, you've certainly witnessed the industry experience many setbacks and many comebacks, right? So I'd love your take on what you consider to be the larger learnings that came through as a result of the pandemic. And do you believe that the Indian pharma sector stands to benefit from a more intimate partnership with the public sector?
Thank you very much, Pooja. In fact, COVID was the most unprecedented humanitarian crisis which the world faced, and India demonstrated its strength. In fact, adversity is the best teacher and gets the best out of the industry, and it shows the power of the industry. From a moment where we didn't have masks in the country, we didn't have ventilators, we were not very sure whether we can supply medicines to the world. We have demonstrated incredibly well, and we started making masks, we supplied to the world, we started making ventilators, and we supplied medicines to more than 150 countries around the world in a situation where there was uncertainty both on demand side and supply side. Now, from the moment of that time, who could have imagined that you can develop vaccine in 12 months' time? Who could have imagined that 5.5 billion people in this country can be vaccinated? So 6 different kind of manufacturers which came in vaccine. We have today DNA vaccine, we have got mRNA vaccine, we got nasal vaccine, and we can be proud of the fact that what Indian industry achieved is a moment of pride for everyone. The question, next question, and where I will say ProPack and other, we have to build on this strength.
Sure.
This is just a thought starter and thought builder. And the areas going forward are self-reliance in APIs. Areas going forward is building on innovation capability, which was highlighted by Anil. The areas going forward, how do we keep on building on productivity and technological solution?
Right.
And hence, these areas where we meet together, we exchange ideas,
yes,
we build on the thought process, and we thought lead the world, will be very, very important.
Well, so that actually makes for a wonderful segue into my next question, which is to you, Mehul. And given that you are affiliated with the Indian Drug Manufacturers Association, which of course represents the voice of the industry's small-sized and medium-sized players, what role do trade fair platforms such as these play in truly facilitating meaningful networking, the discovery of new technologies, so on and so forth?
Indian Drug Manufacturers Association was founded in the year 1961. This is our 62nd year.
Right.
And we have more than 1,000 members, probably the largest association for pharma companies in the world. Most of the IDMA members are entrepreneurs driven organizations. So this kind of platform, it gives phenomenal opportunity not just to do basic networking or look at the newer technologies, but competitive landscape, because there is all buyer and seller meet.
Right.
They can benchmark themselves, skill set gap, where they should focus on. If they are working on the brand's life cycle management by bringing in newer technology, there are an N number of benefits they can derive out of these trade shows. Now, taking actionable earlier was a issue, but IDMA in forefront, they are working very hard on one important aspect called Vriddhi. Vriddhi is growth. So for doing growth, there are 3 mindsets IDMA is working on. One is growth mindset, learning mindset, and digital mindset. All the 3 mindset we feel can really be properly understood and executed by attending such trade shows. The world is moving towards the paperless manufacturing and paperless even laboratory. Now that aspect is analytical part which is covered in this kind of trade show. It helps a lot. Yeah. I think the focus on quality goes up 3 notches more every time when you attend such trade shows.
Well, phenomenal. And coming to you now, Anil, you of course have extensive experience procuring pharma equipment, both from, domestic players as well as those internationally. So would you have a message to share for equipment manufacturers or designers that you believe is especially critical for them to hear?
The only message which I have, or the few points which they should really focus on if we have to compete with the industry abroad, one is to improve the quality of equipment in terms of, making more robust equipment part of it. Increase the level of automation, because that is what is expected. Use more of digital tools so that we can, put it to use in the equipment part itself, right from the, assembly stage to the, operation stage part of it. Also improve compliance. Regulators, expectations goes up every time.
Sure.
We need to really improve compliance for the equipment part also, because understanding of the compliance as far equipment manufacturing is concerned is more limited to the process being optimized, and that's enough. And also focus on in-house development. We have been relying more on copying the technology from outside and then developing it.
Right.
It's better if we can focus on our own in-house development, do a R&D here, bring the new technology, sooner the better. That's a big part of it. Speed of development is the key, which they must really focus on.
Wonderful. And coming to you now, Shehul, what are some of the technologies, the more cutting edge the better, that we can expect your association to bring forward at the upcoming trade fair, sir?
The Indian pharma machine manufacturers today are more than 400, and all of them are geared up together to design first and produce the latest technology which is needed for the Indian pharma industry as well as the world pharma. These manufacturers are continuously investing in research and development, absolutely not looking at copying the technology, but now partnering with world designers and people across the world to get the best designs patented by themselves in India and manufacture the technology which is needed for the Indian pharma industry. We would definitely look ahead that the Pharma Pro Pack show, which is happening on 14th of this month in Hyderabad, surely will be showcasing the best of the equipment, which will be focusing on automation, because that's the key towards the future. The machine manufacturers are geared up for the same. There is a lot of development happening on robotics, which is going to be an essential part of the machine manufacturing, as well as the academia is also being focused on. There is skill development which is happening across all the sectors, so that there is a lot of skilled labor available to operate these machines.
Right.
And surely this is the time when I suggest Pharma Pro Pack in Hyderabad is the place. Everyone should be there and look forward to welcoming all and showcasing our newest products and technologies.
Wonderful. And I want to come to you, Bhupinder, for closing comments, because Hyderabad has certainly been attracting the attention of not only global pharma giants, but the leading players in the domestic industry as well. So as far as the upcoming expo is concerned, give us a sneak preview of what's on offer and what do you think are the specific experiences that are going to emerge as the key highlights?
There is a huge opportunity in pharma. As Analytica India Lab Expo and Pharma Pro Pack Expo, with the support of IDMA, IPMMA, IPA, all major bodies are going to be there. The entire ecosystem, almost entire ecosystem of the industry and the challenges and opportunities related to that ecosystem will be discussed, deliberated and showcased there. A big focus area for us this year, like always, is the buyer-seller meetings, where we have prefixed meetings. This is going to be a very exciting feature this year, where people will come with their ROOs and we will do the marriage of their objectives on site with sort of a let's agree on the deal on site, so that it's not only a light and sound trade show, it's about a trade fair which is very, very outcome centric, very, very objective centric. So I think a lot of action is packed. So wherever you are listening to me, don't miss the show, please be there.
Well, we very much look forward to it. So Anil, Mehul, Bhupinder, Sudarshan and Shehul, thank you so much for sharing such a rich range of insights and digging deep into your professional and personal capacities and strength of experience in this industry. We very much look forward to the expo. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. And with that, our televised feature, Making India a Pharmaceutical Manufacturing Epicenter, a special presentation by Pharma Pro Pack Expo and analytica Anacon India, India Lab Expo, comes to a close. We trust you found the insights shared of value. Thanks for tuning in.